Peter. How are you?
I'm great. Feeling good.
Thank
End
you.
of the week. Yeah, I'm good.
How's Amsterdam today?
Amsterdam is I actually don't know because I haven't left my office or my house the whole day.
Really?
So yeah, and I keep my I was coding today. So since I woke up, I've been in front of my PC, and as you can see, I closed my curtains. I
Yeah.
don't like the light. Yeah, and I've only put on this light just because of the call. Otherwise, I'm in the dark and I just do my thing. But I'm sure it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold
Yeah.
in Canada today. In Calgary, it was snowing for the past couple of days. But yeah,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
trying to fit in, right? In these.
Yeah. People are enjoying the sun back home in South Africa, so it's sad. Yeah.
So Peter, welcome to IT Global Direction. I am Rorisang Hlahatsi-Baloyi, the host, and I'll just be engaging with you with questions that I think people would have in your
Yeah.
industry. So if you can just do a quick intro on what do you do, where are you based, what's fun about what you're doing. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Okay, I think let me answer the easiest one there first. I am based in Amsterdam, although based in other areas too, South Africa for one, Malawi, and a few others. But yeah, kind of most of my time is based in Amsterdam at the moment, and that changes according to work or projects or like just life situations. And what I do, so for the past 16 years, pushing on to 17 in a few months. I've been in the software industry and basically on all ends of software, from the technical to programming to consulting and everything. Yeah. So software has been the biggest part out of all of those. And that's where I've got most of my experience in IT, software. And yeah, I've worked with multiple companies, started a few companies, acted as CTO in a lot of companies, built a lot of MVPs, contract work and consultation for um, banks or commercial companies like Media 24 and all of these guys.
yeah,
So yeah, I've been around the block quite a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter, do you see your job being impacted in the future or seeing any drastic changes, especially on the development side where there's
Yeah.
not low code, no code? Do you see yourself having to adapt to these new technologies?
Not really, because for us to have no code, someone has to make code for that.
Yeah,
You know, so I think it's something that will be there. Obviously, it's just going to be a change of how we do things, right? So, back in the day, we had COBOL, you
yeah,
know, and it's not that we don't program anymore, we still do, but our tools now are much better than COBOL. So when I hear about no coding, I'm just hearing that we're going to have better tools to kind of give us the results that we need, because over the past, I would say maybe 20, 30, 40 years, we've
yeah,
been writing code and working with stuff in ways that make it faster to produce, to get to production, you
yeah,
know. And now it's becoming like click and drop and all of that stuff.
yeah,
But even that will reach a certain cap where we now need to look at information differently. So I think what is going to change is the level of how we acquire information, how we process information, and how we use it. Because IT has always been about information
yeah,
and how you work with that. So yeah, I think will still be relevant because someone has to curate that information. But things like AI and all of that, we're gonna work hard to make that smarter so
yeah.
that it can actually do what we want it to do at this point in time. Yeah.
Yeah. You also mentioned that you have a couple of businesses, you're engaging with other parts of the world besides
Yeah.
Amsterdam, South Africa, and Malawi.
Yeah.
Do you see your business positioning being different now that you now that we're focusing on this, on the future? Do you see anything
Yeah.
in how you strategize, how you plan, how you position yourself as a business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now, a lot of solutions are integrated, right? It's very rare that anyone starts a business where they're completely introducing something new.
Mm,
It's usually a business that is talking to what exists already and
mm,
is taking another component and kind of enhancing that.
yeah,
So with that, it's also forcing you to kind of go out of the border, kind of go into other countries, into other continents, kind of work in a manner that is like super remote,
mm,
where you build relationships with people that you've never met and probably will never meet at some point even, so it's definitely more global. So that part of business has changed already, and I think things like COVID also forced that change to just kind of like go a bit faster,
mm,
which is great. So yeah, I think in terms of the climate of business, I think that's where things are going. We kind of becoming decentralized in
yeah.
how we operate and do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you travel a lot to these countries that you mentioned that you went?
Yes. Oh man, I think this year alone I've been on more than my Google was telling me collect stats automatically. And I think I've been to more than I've been on more than 46 flights, you
Mm,
know. And probably even more now because that was like in July, so between July and now I've also traveled a lot.
mhm,
So yes, I do travel still. It's a bit of both fun and work.
mm,
And if I could get away with not traveling at all, it's possible, because online
yeah.
helps us do everything, but sometimes you just get things done faster if you're there in your physical sense.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
in your world now, are you doing anything with the metaverse, AI, all those emerging technologies? And how are they impacting you?
Yeah.
And have you used them to reduce your travels?
Yeah. So not yet. I haven't used them to reduce my travel. Other companies have used them to reduce my travel for sure because, like how we're talking now.
Yeah.
So these guys. So yeah, I think when we're talking about the metaverse and its impact,
Mm,
or AI and its impact, we we usually look at it in this exciting way, in this gamified way, and everything.
mm,
But there's a lot of components of it that we use a lot. Like your background right now, and your face moving and stuff. That is AI that is tracking and making sure that this picture is the way it is. So it's already there. And in terms of personal usage with it, I do have one company called Kaizen Flow,
mm,
which basically takes data from the space around us and makes processes out of it and manages those processes for businesses. So that has got a big component of AI that's going to be introduced to it because the way we capture information from users, I mean, users and employees in general are just lazy, right?
yeah.
And so you don't want to give tedious work to someone who's already like, man, I'm here for a purpose, I need my money, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, although people say, oh, I love my job. Yeah, sure, we all love our jobs, some don't, but a big percentage of us don't love it every day. So Kaizen Flow is a tool that is AI that is going to assist in those sort of spaces. And how does it assist? It basically um, automates things that a human would do in order to capture data into systems, which would later give results for better decision making.
Mm,
So yeah, that's where I'm dealing with AI and the metaverse. Not really, because like I hear about it and I've been in situations where we had to do a bit of research and like consult on it, but it's something that I haven't dabbled into a lot because there just hasn't been a strong enough use case for
mm,
me to be pulled in and say, look, we have to build this in the metaverse, or the metaverse is the answer to this. We haven't reached that level yet. Maybe someday it will come, maybe it won't. There's still a lot of things that are confusing, like buying land in the metaverse, because yeah, I find it a little bizarre. But people are not crazy, and there's always I always have trust that people are doing things for a good reason, So, but yeah, I haven't uncovered those good reasons yet. Yeah.
And is there anything, just before we finish, that you can recommend to people that are now going into the IT industry on what exactly do they need to focus on? Because that's where
Yeah.
it's going. Do you have any recommendations on what should people focus on?
Yeah, I think every single person that goes into IT or is in IT needs to focus on learning. I think that is the one big skill, learning and persistence, because that's what drives the IT force, and that's what keeps you alive in it. And that's what's going to be after all cool stuff that we have created to this point. So the ability to learn and adapt, adopt, and produce from that is very important, because every week, every month, we've got new technologies, we've got new libraries, we've got new integrations. Something is broken there, someone needs to update this, or these policies have changed. So if you don't have the capability to learn, then you don't have the capability in the long run to be in the software space. Yeah.
And do you see any technologies that we're started using now or that have been used in the past? Do you see in the future? Are there any technologies that you can say, oh, this one I can foresee for a very long time? Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it's hard to commit to something in that way of thinking, because, like, as I said, it's all about little components, right? And how these things tap into each other, So I think if I would know, I'd probably be a billionaire. But yeah, these things are they're so simple but so tough, to figure out. So yeah, I wouldn't say I know what is there to look out for. But I know that a lot is coming, and a few lucky people will uncover things that are necessary for industries. One thing, though, I can advise is, again, going back to learning, right, is that in order for new creations to be made, you need to discover things or professions that are out of your comfort. So if you are a software engineer, the probability of you doing something in software that's going to be like wow or change the world or whatever is very low. But the probability for you to make an impact would mean saying, okay, I'm a great software engineer, I know all my skills, and I'm very comfortable. Let me see what law has to offer. So you go into law and you kind of learn the processes, and you say, okay, like when you have a case, what happens? How do you guys store information, and what is the process in the day-to-day of a lawyer? How do they think? What do they use? And out of that exercise, what you get out is a lot of solutions that you can build for them, because once you learn a pain point of another human in another profession, then you can offer a solution, because software is all about creating a simpler, faster, more relevant world that is based on the real world. So every piece of software that we own or have created is literally a copy of the real world, and make it virtual, like us talking to each other now. The software is basically organizing a conversation, so it's something that existed. We could have spoken face to face. So anything that you can copy from that real world and make digital is possible, and you can only do that if you reach out into the depth of places where you don't belong. I've got no business dealing with law, but if I want to make things that are great, then I have to dabble into that, because a lawyer doesn't necessarily know that, oh, actually, instead of me writing this form all the time with my clients, I could make it digital, and vice versa. So even a lawyer, maybe they should dabble into software and understand how it works, so they can have fresh ideas on what they can bring. And I guess that's how entrepreneurship is born, out of situations. Yeah.
Like a real entrepreneur.
Somewhat, yeah. I don't like calling myself an entrepreneur.
Good.
Uh, yeah, like because that word has been overused and burnt out, because everyone is an entrepreneur, and I'm like, ish, what have you created? Like, is your income coming from there? If not, then you shouldn't be calling yourself that. But so yeah.
Thank you so much, Freeman. I think my key takeouts here is that from software development, there's quite a lot of technologies that you need to learn, and always make sure that you keep up to date with what is out in the industry. And also don't box yourself into software development, but also look at what other industries need, where can you simplify in other industries. And I think
Absolutely.
a great discussion. And you also mentioned that in your entrepreneur side of things, you foresee your world view changing. You also adapting to change that because businesses and how their position has changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
To these new technologies. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. We've learned
Thank
quite
you.
a lot. And thank you for sharing your views. And thank you for coming to the IT Global Direction to share with other IT professionals on what's happening on the IT sphere. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Keep well.